All right, guys. Once again, you're welcome to another video showing my weekly outlook for this new week. Today is the 31st day of August 2025. So I'm going to walk you guys down what I see on the market, what I'm expecting for the week on DXY, Euro USD, and Gbpusd. Precisely, those are the two major pairs I trade. That's the EU and GU, and I use the DXY as my barometer. Okay, so let's jump right through it. For DXY right now, this is the weekly chart on the DXY, and I am reasonably expecting lower prices. In other words, I'm expecting a bearish market for this week. Okay, my reasons are because just before I start showing you sell side liquidities, you see the range between this high up here, the high up here top left, and this low. Okay, if you plot your Fibonacci retracement tool from this high down to this low right here, so far we have made premium. Our retracement has made premium of this current price range, and we hit premium here. I think during July, in the month of July, yeah, we did premium there, and so far the market has been finding its way to deliver to sell side liquidity that after buy side liquidity got taken here as an internal range liquidity on this series of equal highs. So on that particular week within the month of July, buy side liquidity got taken here, and for the next few weeks that followed, the market has been dancing and actually showing real signs to expand lower, and we would be reasonably targeting the sell side liquidity below this the low of July. And for long-term basis, see this low of 2022, the year 2022, which is down here. I drew that out in time using my horizontal ray here. Will be targeting those lows for the higher time frames, but for precision's sake and for a reasonable target, the lows down here would be very, very reasonable. And that means any other lows which would fall within this given price range here, which turns out to be this low, this low, this low, this low, and any low you would find there would be liquidated. So that's for our weekly time frame. So moving down to the daily time frame, recall my weekly outlook for last week kept pointing downwards. That's more bearishness on the DXY to an extent. Let's say of our expectations for last week had been fulfilled, but let's say on a 50% basis, where I pointed out this this bearish order block here, this daily bearish order block here, which I draw it in time. I draw it in time using this trend line, and so far price made its way back into this bearish order block, and it's been dancing until it made its high, the high of the week on Wednesday, and started forming this expansion phase, which sure that most likely these lows down here, this series of equal lows here, will be liquidated, and as well the low down here, which I see that to be a possibility. So during the time at which this whole price action was taking place, that's after the reaction from this bearish order block here. I'm going to pull that backwards to the left so that we have more space. During the time that was happening, the market formed this volume imbalance here, and price on Friday found its way back into this volume imbalance and then tried to expand lower, but unfortunately it couldn't make it down to this low. Okay, so but that to me is still a good thing, because I'll be expecting this new week to continue somehow, make its way somewhere towards into this volume imbalance, and as a retracement, as a manipulation, and then we should expect expansion down to our relative equal lows and any other form of sell side liquidity below price level. So that's it for our daily time frame. And then on the 4-hour time frame here, this is what I'm looking at. Nothing much here. Our daily charts, our levels on the daily chart are being transposed down to these lower time frames. We still have our daily volume imbalance still intact, of which price can most likely can be drawn up here to this volume imbalance where we have this bearish order block here. That too can be a possibility, but it looks more juicy it looks better on the hourly time frame. On the hourly time frame, here's what I'm looking at. Okay, the typical ICT 2022 model where buy stops got rated, okay, as manipulation, and then this expansion that has given way for a possible retracement into this fair value gap, on this 1-hour time frame. So if price retraces up here, we should be most likely expecting the next phase of expansion to hit this area of sell stops here. And I wouldn't be surprised if the manipulation finds its way back into some part of this volume imbalance, this daily volume imbalance. I wouldn't mind. That too is expected. So I should be expecting that. So once I get that, we should be expecting the market to expand lower, seeking more sell side liquidity. So that's it for DXY. Recall, generally we're expecting bearishness for DXY. And then moving over to Euro USD, I'm going to perform the same top-down analysis beginning with the weekly time frame. Recall last week, let me change this. I prefer using brown colors for sell side liquidity. Okay, my last week weekly outlook, was something like this. After sell side got taken here, this series of weekly candles showed signs for buy side to be rated. Sell side has been taken here, and then most likely we should expect this area of buy stops to be taken. And then there's a monthly FVG here. If you look at your charts, if you go to the monthly level, you're going to see a fair value gap here on the monthly level. That too is a major draw on liquidity as buy side liquidity. So moving down to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, it's just a typical replica of the DXY, but in this case it's been reversed. DXY had a bearish order block somewhere at about here, and Euro USD has that replica, but on the reverse side of the market. Euro USD has this bearish order block here, this black candle, which I drew out in time as an indication. So this is it right here. So so far the market has respected that bearish order block to an extent, and then we're expecting higher prices to be met, and this area of liquidity, this all week high here, that's the high of August, to be rated. So I'm going to pull this back inside this indication so that it doesn't clog our lower time frames chart. Going down to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, this is what it is. Okay, weekly sell side liquidity got taken here, okay, with an internal range liquidity too as well, taken simultaneously, and then giving rise to this expansion. And then during the next phase of reaccumulation, there was an SMT here on Euro USD against the GBP USD, still on this 4-hour time frame. Recall, we're still aiming for anything buy side liquidity, which includes this area of internal range liquidity, August's high. That's the high of the month, that usually has a lot of liquidity. And how do we get there? Is we just keep following price action. Now, inside this expansion leg, if you look right here, I marked this fair value gap as the H4 fair value gap, and then price came back and engaged that fair value gap and came back the second time to re-engage it, taking out sell side liquidity simultaneously. At the same time, it re-engaged this H4 fair value gap. I like to leave it back here so that we have some more clarity. And then we have an H4 order block here, bullish order block right here, in which price is respecting. Okay, if you notice, I drew out this teal color rectangle, annotated as H4 plus sense. Like, this sense here represents sensitivity. So that means from the high of this order block to where the body begins is usually very sensitive for price action. And so far, the market is showing us reasons to believe that that area of the order block is very sensitive. It's not as if I'm expecting the market to just bounce off and start expanding from there. On the lower time frame, I'm going to show you reasons why I believe the market should come lower for further manipulation before the actual expansion we're expecting upwards. So, and that's pretty much it. And good enough, we have a nice SMT here on Euro USD against the GBP USD. So going down to the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, we still have our 4-hour levels transposed down to this time frame. Okay, right here is pretty much simple, shown as the H4, just a little bit more obfuscated. We still have our H4 levels, the fair value gap, sell side liquidity got taken here, and then as well as the SMT, and then an expansion that took place on Friday, breaking market structure to the upside. And so what are we expecting? We're expecting a retracement back into the range. How far into the range does it have to go? It has to retrace as low as into the discount part of this range. So if I'm plotting my Fibonacci retracement from this low to this high, from that low to that high, where you have this 0.5 is our 50% level. So most likely the best area to buy is if the market retraces below this 50% level, which we would call discount. So that means anything above this 50% level, which is equilibrium, is premium, and anything below equilibrium is discount. So anywhere below this 50% level, we would accept that. We would know that to be a discount, price of the range. So, and what do we have below equilibrium, which we would call a proper discount level to buy from? We have this series of down close candles here. Let me take off this fib. Okay, we have this series of down close candles here representing the 4-hour order block, and as well we would call this the 1-hour order block too. So price can choose to react from any part of this bullish order block, okay, for movement, but most likely I prefer to see price retrace as low as this H1 fair value gap. So if price comes down there, I should expect to see the right reaction and a possible expansion upwards, which I would expect that rally to take us to the moon. not exactly to the skies. Okay, up to this internal range liquidity, and just we should keep expecting higher prices. So I wouldn't want to go lower. In fact, going lower would just, I don't have so much information on the lower time frame. I think pretty much the 1 hour should be enough. And moving over to GBP GBP USD on the weekly time frame. Okay, still juicy as it seemed. Recall my last week weekly outlook showed that this bullish order block on a weekly level would be respected after sell side liquidity right here got taken below this series of relative equal lows. This area here got taken, and then the expansion that gave rise to this price action we're seeing here. Then price is currently respecting this order block. If you look at it, it's respecting it quite well on the weekly level. So, and what should we be expecting? We should expect high prices to be met, buy side liquidity to be engaged, and furthermore we have this which high do we have here? This is the high of June. The high of June should be engaged, and then the high of October 2021 should be engaged, but that's a long shot. But typically I should be aiming for the high of August and this high up here where you have this candle right there. We have a lot of buy side liquidity to be haunted. So moving down to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we still have our weekly levels transposed to this lower time frame. This trend line here represents our weekly order block. So I'm just going to push it to the left so that it makes way for a clearer chart. And then right inside here we still have a daily order block here, which price is respecting quite well. And I don't want to see the market violate the lows of these lows here, this series of lows here, because typically sell side liquidity got taken here at the same time this daily fair value gap got engaged, and then this expansion followed a retracement back into the order block, and price is trying to make its way upwards to this area of buy side liquidity, to this area of buy stops, which is a relative equal high on the 4-hour chart. If you look at your charts, you can confirm that with me. So moving down to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so far last week showed us this. Okay, price expanded, came down and did all this, giving an SMT, a positive SMT against the GBPUSD simultaneously at the time where sell side liquidity got taken here, and then a beautiful reaction from this H4 bullish order block. And if you look to your left right here, you see this, we have an inversion gap here on the H4 level, which the market carefully respected. I love the price action I'm seeing there. See how the bodies stayed above the high of that inversion fair value gap, and then this expansion followed, came back down as a retracement into discount, and then the next move just formed. So we're going to look at what to expect on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, that large expansion we saw that retraced back into discount it came down to engage this series of down close candles. See the series of down close candle, all of them are one order block, and then you see this green candle here. That's a breaker block right there. That's a breaker block. So the market came down and reacted within that area where we have converging confluences there. So after that reaction, see how the market woke up. The market woke up, and I love that. I love that wake up. So I think I saw something here on the lower time frame, which is the 30 minutes. On the 30 minutes here, on the 30 minutes, this is what I saw on Gbpusd. I still expect discount arrays of this current price range to be re-engaged, to be engaged, okay? And I'm going to throw in a Fibonacci there. I'm going to plot it from this low up to this high, and I should be expecting the market to come down into discounts, okay, right there below the 50% level, the equilibrium. Let's see what we have there. If you look closely, I marked out this 30 minutes fair value gap. We still have another fair value gap down here. We have this order block, and then we still have a 30 minutes inversion gap there. I'm going to take off this Fibonacci, and so just so you see clearly what I'm talking about. This is the inversion gap. I drew it out in time. This is it, right? I love using a clear rectangle for my inversions, and we still have this fair value gap. So I'm expecting the market to retrace, to manipulate into any of these areas, and then right there, if it gives me something good, I will engage. And when I do so, I'm gonna post it right here for you guys to see with me how I do things. We still expect higher prices on Gbpusd. So guys, I hope you found this insightful, and I wish you all the best for the week and trade safely. Thank you.